Hello everybody, I'm seeing this 2012 Mazda 5 for the first time, and I'm going to go around and give you my impressions of all the great updates on this car. I like that this new Mazda 5 is almost exactly the same size as its predecessor. That's a terrific distinction in a world where every other minivan seems to grow with every generation. And after all, the ability to deliver this kind of space, this much utility in such a small package, that's the primary attraction of the Mazda 5 for buyers. But even though the envelope is about the same size, the look of this new machine is completely different. Take a look at the side here. Look at these sculpted lines. If you remember the Nagare show car from a few years back, that indicated what this might look like in a production car, and this is the first embodiment of that look. These lines, when you look at them carefully, you see that they pick things up on the car, like this flat spot just above the front wheel is echoed by the two outside lines. The middle line then comes together and they pick up the door track really beautifully on the back. It's a really nice piece of styling, and those kind of details abound on this new car. Now let's take a look at the front. The front face of the new model shows its strong Mazda heritage. And that comes from two key aspects of this design. The first is this fender, where the front fender is almost separated from the rest of the body and it tapers as it moves forward. That detail was introduced on the RX-8 a few years back, and it's now spread throughout the Mazda lineup. The other key aspect of this front end is the grille. It's got that characteristic Mazda shape with the 5 sides, and it's nice and big so you can really recognize it. At the same time, there's a certain amount of subtlety there. Everybody's doing prominent front ends these days, and a lot of them are giant and chrome and shiny. And on some of them, like on the new Acuras, they look like giant bottle openers. This is a Mazda grille that's instantly recognizable, but it's tasteful and well executed. Now let's take a look at the back of the Mazda 5, where we also see a lot of upgrades. The back of the new Mazda 5 has also been completely reworked. The first thing you'll notice is the taillights, which used to be up here, are now down here as horizontal units. In their place, the side glass wraps smoothly around to the rear glass. It's a particularly neat look because it completely hides the D-pillar and makes for an overall sleek impression. This rear glass, you'll notice, also picks up the 5-sided shape, echoing the characteristic Mazda radiator shape. On this GT model, there's also a blacked out lower valance. All these details put together completely change your visual impression of the back of this machine. It now looks lower and wider than it did before, even though the actual dimensions are almost exactly the same. Now let's take a look inside. There's a lot to talk about in this new interior, but I don't want to forget about what's new under the hood, so let's do that first. The engine has been upgraded from the 2.3 liter to the 2.5 liter 4-cylinder engine. That means 4 more horsepower up to 157, but the real change is a big improvement in torque from 148 to 163 foot-pounds. The additional torque has allowed taller gearing, which means the engine is turning fewer RPM under any condition. That means better fuel economy and a quieter interior at all times. And you'll appreciate that with this new interior. This center stack is just like what's in the new Mazda 3. It's a very clean control layout with everything that seems very straightforward and easy to use. In front of you is a very sporty large tachometer and speedometer with beautiful white-on black instruments. And there's a convenient power output and an input for your music player. There's higher quality plastic and material everywhere on the inside of this machine. There's a nice package shelf above the glove box. These seat backs are wider than they were before. The center armrests are a little bit wider. All in all, it adds up to a cockpit that's a much more comfortable place to spend time on either short or long trips. Finally, there's a more powerful air conditioner that produces colder air and more of it. Now let's take a look at the second and third row seats. Great versatility has always been a strong suit of the Mazda 5, and that remains true with this new model. You've got this third row seat that's just perfect for kids, but if you need room for stuff, all you do is drop the headrest and drop the seat. And it's a split seat, so you can adjust the space for people and your things as you see fit. If you need even more room for stuff, we'll come around to the side and we'll drop the second row seat. This new headrest folds with a simple catch. Otherwise, the second row seat folds just like it did on the old model. Pull up the seat cushion and fold down the seat back. And you get a surface that's nice and flat and continues the surface from the folded third row seat. This new Mazda 5 remains the only true minivan on the market, and with all the upgrades on this 2012 model, it's ideally positioned for the coming decade.